Hey YouTubers, just Federalist again. Just wanted to make a video. It's Sunday morning. It is the 10th of January 2010. I'm about to head out with some buddies to go to the local gun show. I know that excites a lot of people. You know, come on down here to Kankakee County. We've got them like once a month. It's awesome. Anyway, enough about my Sunday escapades. Just wanted to make a commentary about this dumb. We have a guy named Pat Quinn, who, as many of you from around the country and probably around the world know, he took over for our lovely Democratic Governor Rod Blagojevich after his recent indictment on criminal charges. He's awaiting trial and still making a mockery of the entire justice system and our state and everything else. Wow, you know, it's this guy's doing a much better job. Apparently he decided under cover of darkness to release 1,700 felons from prison. You know, I'm all about mercy and showing good faith and giving second chances for people, you know, redemption and a lot of those great things, you know, that's a great thing. But you're talking about people here who, you know, he says that they're not violent criminals, but apparently there's some that are. You know, we're never going to really get the whole story of this thing, because it seems to me that that would take a lot of effort by a completely inept, you know, bunch of journalists here in Illinois who they'll gloss over this thing and never really give it a really their full attention. And you know, I just believe that they're a wholly owned subsidiary of the Democratic Party anyway, and this whole thing is just killing them because they've got to cover this stuff. What a mess. You know, and this just strikes me as another sort of moderate leftist sort of move that you would make. You know, we've had stories like this come from around the country in the recent past. At one point, we had this move threatened, at least in California, by Governor Schwarzenegger, who I no longer even consider to be a part of the Republican Party. I don't even know what the heck he's doing. He should just, you know, admit to himself that he's really a liberal, and his time with his wife and their family has just really corrupted anything that was Republican about him. You know, here's the trick. Here's the trick. You're going to let the Republicans, you know, now I shouldn't say the Republicans, you're going to threaten as a government entity to let go of criminals. The next thing you're going to do is threaten to diminish the amount of defense forces, the amount of police protection, the amount of governmental spending on anything like fire districts or anything like that, any protection you might have. So, okay, you have an increasing threat, a diminishing defense, and what have we got left? Does it seem to you like a guy holding a snarling pit bull like 2 inches from your face and being like, give me your money? Because what's the choice that you have? Well, of course, you've got to pay more taxes. You've got to pay more taxes. Otherwise, this is going to happen over and over again. We're just going to keep letting these guys out because we can't afford to keep them. We can't afford it, man. You guys don't want to pay extra tax money, you Tea Party types. All right, we got to do what we got to do, man. We got to balance the budget. We're not going to take down entitlements because those poor people would suffer. And let's go. Okay, we're going to release the prisoners now, and we're going to fire a bunch of policemen. And as far as carrying guns, no, you can't defend yourself. That's far too radical. Far too radical. But we're going to release these prisoners. No, it's, you know, some of them might be like violent offenders, like rapists or arsonists or anything like. I mean, really, do you know? Who knows? Who knows? But we're going to release them anyway because they're costing us too much, and you guys don't want to pay, and we understand. We understand. Okay, so let's go ahead and release those prisoners now. They're back in society. You know, we really can't keep track of them. You know, that would be, you know, we'd get a lot of complaints if we were to track after these people or, you know, tell people who they are. But wow, if you're in Indiana and you have a concealed carry, I mean, we've got plenty of press that's out there wanting to tell people who you are, like you're a threat to society. And carrying guns for you people in Illinois and largely in California too, I mean, unless you're somebody, you know, like you're connected, well, you're not going to get a permit. You really can't defend yourself, so you just pay us the money. I mean, you just have to pay us the money, okay? I mean, you don't want this to happen, do you? I mean, we've already shown you it's going to happen. I mean, Wow. This is like strong arm tactics. Like I said, it's like the guy holding the pit bull on you. You see that guy at that Abu Ghraib detention center over in Iraq or whatever, and he's got that dog just snarling at that guy that was acting up in that prison. It's like that. I'll let this dog go. If you don't get right, you don't pay us. You better just get ready for what's going to happen. Because here we go. I'm going to let this dog go. I'm going to let this snarling dog go, and what he does, I don't know. I can't protect you. He'll get me. I can't, how can I step in the way? But you could pay more in taxes and we could keep them locked up. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if you paid more in taxes, we could keep these guys locked up. We might even be able to keep more police out there. Maybe more fire protection. I don't know, maybe. But more taxes is the only way. I mean, really. We've got to cut costs here. And we're not going to cut down those entitlements. Just forget about that. You teabaggers out there, forget about that. Really. No, we're not going to cut back on entitlements, because that's how we get our votes, okay? So if I'm a Democrat or a moderate Republican or some politically confused entity out there that calls himself a Republican but acts like a Democrat, whatever, this is how we're going to do you. And, I hope you like it. I mean, this is your alternative. You can, it's coming down to the point, people, where you're gonna have to do one of two things. You're gonna have to let some people fail, and by fail, I mean fail, like to the point where they're at their lowest. Perhaps even some die. You're gonna have to make people make the shift from being a lazy layabout, do nothing, wait for a government handout type, to actually getting out there, swallowing their pride, and working their way up through the ranks of McDonald's or some entry-level position at a factory or somewhere. And if their pride is too much, then they may die. And people, you better be ready. You better be ready for that, because some people, they'll do it. They'll do the right thing like you and I have. They'll work their way up. They'll swallow their pride. They'll take the little paying job in hopes to parlay that with their own endeavors into something better. But there are people who won't. And for those people who won't, well, you may see them on the street someday, and they might ask you for a cigarette, and if you don't give it to them, they might break some teeth out of your head and put 10 staples in your skull, try and or see to it that gets done to you, because they're not willing to. Some people are bound to fail. We know this. And some people never had it in them to do what was right. Blame it on their upbringing. Blame it on society. Blame it on the system. Blame it on what you want to blame it on, okay? But it's real. And it's something you need to contend with. You need to grapple with that in your own heart and in your own mind. Just be ready. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I just had to post this today because, every time you turn around, our government surprises us with what they're willing to do to coerce more tax money right out of your pockets. They're not afraid to do something stupid and then blame it on somebody else. They're not afraid to do like Pat Quinn here in Illinois just did, and under cover of darkness let out those 1,700 criminals. They're not afraid to threaten to diminish the police force like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in California. They're not afraid to just subvert you and make you fearful to make you do what they want, which is pay more and accept less. Okay? All for their aggrandizement, all for their power, all for their wealth. So here I am just to tell you, and I'm so glad that you'd, you guys, a lot of you would let this happen. If it was up to me, I'd rather see good people live on and bad people fall away. And I hope you're ready for that eventuality when one of these violent criminals comes up to you and your government has seen to it that you cannot arm yourself to protect yourself. And I hope that if you're one of those people that said, no, those guns in the hands of, everyday citizens is too radical an idea, those founding fathers, those old, so-and-sos, I hope you're ready for the consequences. All right, man. You guys be blessed and have a great Sunday, and I'll get back to you.